Hey folks, Master Brown here, Ancient Ways Martial Arts Academy. It is November 8th, 2019. It's Friday, and I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about how much we rely on electronics in our world. I know this is kind of a weird topic for a martial arts instructor, but just to kind of let you know. So over here working underneath that chair, let me point to it, that guy right there. That is one of my best employees. It is a little Roomba knockoff, Chinese Roomba knockoff. We call it the General, and it speaks either Cantonese or Mandarin, I don't know which, so we have no idea what it says. But it has been working here for us for about 3 years now and does an incredible job. We've got it set on a timer, so it comes on 4 times a day, 5 times a day, I guess, and circumnavigates this place. It does a pretty good job on the hardwood, does an amazing job on the matted floor. And so, on the weekends, we'll set up a little corral so it only goes on the matted floor. Don't you run me over. And so, and I know a lot of you probably have something like that in your home. We don't actually. We have hardwood floors, so we sweep everything at home. But awesome little device. Other stuff that we do that has electronics that allows us to do more with our life here at Ancient Ways. Our audio device over there's lots of really expensive systems you can get, and a lot of my friends who have big martial arts schools have really expensive systems. I think this one sounds better than just about any I've ever heard, and it's an old Bose system for an iPod. You're supposed to put the iPod in. I'm not an Apple guy, so but you're supposed to put the iPod in, and it's got a remote control for it. And instead of using an iPod, we have an old Samsung Galaxy Note 4. What are they up to? Number 10 now? That is obviously is not connected to any service other than Wi-Fi, and it plays songs that we load on there, and we do royalty-free stuff. Hyper provides a lot of music for us, so that's all royalty free, and so we use a lot of that. But we don't play a ton of music here in Ancient Ways. Like a lot of schools have constant music going. I'm more of a nature guy, so I have like some audios on there of like streams and rainfall and oceans and stuff like that. And the robot's about to hit the tripod. Boink, there it goes. And so that's really more of what I listen to when I'm here doing my workout or stretching or meditating or whatever. And, but that's the device we use. It doesn't have to be the newest or latest thing, but it works great. So we have music playing all the time on there. It's just turned down really low. And so our remote control, when we want to hear it for like this week we were doing half and half warm-ups and we needed some music to keep everybody doing their jumping jacks and stuff, we just pop it up a little bit so they can hear it, and then we just turn it down when we're done. So it's constantly looping. So other areas of electronics that we use, our software program that we use here is called Spark. It was invented by a very good friend of mine named Ron Sell, who owned a karate school up in North Tampa for years. His parents are some of the top Taekwondo people who've ever lived. His dad actually has, or his late dad, rest in peace, has a statue in the Kukkiwon in Korea, the only Caucasian that has one. And so he's pretty amazing people. And his mom Brenda is one of the few female grandmasters. So you know this guy knows martial arts. He knows what he's doing with the martial arts. But he invented a piece of software years ago for his school. Shared it with a friend of his owned a school in Texas. That friend stole it from him and wrote him out. Boom, you can't have access to this anymore. You get none of the profits from it. And then sold it to everybody. And we were all using it, and we liked it, but it kept bogging down. And Ron had told him, this is not for multiple schools. It's made for one school. It's all a centralized database. And you get more than 100 people on here, it's going to bog it down. And it did. And so Ron was approached by Grandmaster Chong Park, whose father was one of my instructors, and said, I will help you finance if you start this over and create a new product that does it better. And he did, and that's called Spark, and that's what we use today. But Spark allows us to send you emails, send texts, receive emails and texts. Allows us to do all of your processing, your point of sale, keep track of attendance, or keeps track of inventory. It's got campaigns set up in there that are automated. So like if somebody comes in and they sign up online for a trial, they can do all that online through Spark, and they can book on their schedule themselves through Spark. And then it automatically kicks in and starts sending them emails and texts and stuff to keep them interested and preparing to come to our classes. So in the old days, somebody would call. you would schedule an appointment for them, and then they may or may not show up. And even if you called and confirmed it, we don't have any problem with people showing up to their appointments anymore. It really works well. So we've come a long way technologically. It's definitely done a lot, but I wanted to speak about one last piece of technology that recently saved my life. And I know a lot of people will laugh about this and about the silliness of it, but this is my smartwatch. It's a Samsung Galaxy Watch. And because I used to work in IT, I'm kind of a tech guy, and I really like the small technology that allows us to do a lot. If you had told me 20 years ago we'd have a device we could record this on and watch funny cat videos and have access to all the world's information on it, and it would be in our pocket, I wouldn't have believed you. And yet here we are today with cell phones that do way more than the computers that even took our astronauts to the moon could do. But this watch is pretty valuable to me for one really, really important reason. Back a couple of months ago, you may have seen that I was absent for a while. I was in the hospital with what they call arterial flutter. It's kind of like AFib, not as severe. But basically the heart is beating at different rhythms, and so now you have blood clots forming inside some of the cavities of the heart, and those can obviously cause stroke, and if it continues, it'll kill you. And so I'd been feeling bad for years and not really knowing why. Joints would hurt. I couldn't stretch without muscles locking up. And so I started actively really trying to take care of my health, losing some weight. I got a new doctor who was putting me on magnesium and vitamin D, as well as a couple other things, trying to get everything balanced out. But then one Sunday morning I woke up and my watch was going crazy. It was telling me that my heart rate was over 160, 170, which is super, super dangerous. And at that point I decided, even though I own a small business, which means you cannot have insurance. I don't know if you know that or not, but there's just no way you can afford it. But it meant that I needed to go to the hospital. So no offense to those of you who work or are associated with Blake or Manatee Memorial Hospital, but I've had too many friends or family members that were mistreated going to those hospitals. So we went straight to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where they took really good care of me. Got my heart, they do the shock thing, get your heart back in. It's called a cardioversion. And got me fixed. Got me on the right medication to fix all of that stuff. But so now I don't hurt when I stretch. I feel good to work out again. I still get tired pretty easily, but that's just the medication they have me on for now. They're going to start weaning me off of that next month, which will be awesome, and get me back to where I was hopefully when I was 20, little skinny guy. I'll get that back too. So. But the watch saved my life. Had it not been going crazy that day, I probably wouldn't have gone to the hospital. And it does a lot of other things too. Not only does it keep track of my heart rate, it keeps track of my sleep. I'm not a big fan of keep track of how many steps I make a day. Who cares about that? I definitely don't, because you can throw 4 or 5 kicks and it counts as one step. That's not the same. And so I don't really care too much for that. Keeping track of my sleep is pretty important to me though. It's also got some meditation stuff in there. It's got some workouts that aren't too bad, that are built into it and guide you through and times it for you and everything. And there's lots of different smartwatches you can get. We started off owning the very first one, which was the Pebble, which is still to this day my favorite one. Pebble sold to Fitbit, which ruined it. And the Pebbles don't work anymore. I still have mine. I won't keep them because they'll be collector's items someday. I've tried the Fitbit Versa, and just never. It was supposed to be, hey, we took Pebble and we made it better. And no, they're really not better. And so, but I didn't want the Android watches because their battery life was so bad. But I saw that this one has about 2 days of battery life compared to the 14 days the Pebble had, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll try it. And so I couldn't be happier. I mean, not only it saved my life, but it's got some cool watch faces. Now that I know how to make it go asleep at night so it doesn't turn on every time I roll over, and keeps track of my sleep, it's fantastic. I have a cardio electronic blood pressure cuff that I put on every morning that connects to my phone and is via Bluetooth, and it does my blood pressure and automatically emails it to my cardiologist. Another good, cool piece of electronics that we have today that we didn't have years ago that can definitely enhance our lives. But I thought I would just share with you guys, some of the electronics that we use here in the studio that I personally use, that I feel like she's stuck. I think that's what she's saying, I'm stuck. And but that make our lives better and make it more enhanced. And I guess so, just kind of sharing. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And I hope you have a great day.